So, what do you do when there is a young blooming talent who has an unorthodox bowling action, can turn the ball like magic and can take spin to new heights? Well, of course, you make the umpires accuse him of chucking and then put him on probation so that he can't play anymore. Obvious, isn't it?
Murlitharan is seeing his career float right out of the window.
But what if then ICC does a comprehensive investigation into the bowling action and clear him of all wrongdoings? Well, then you decide to completely ignore that and you go ahead and hatch a plot involving umpires, media and players to make sure that you destroy this guy's career.
The Australian Cricket Board expected and probably wanted him to be called.
At least that's what the Australian Cricket Board and umpires tried to do.
A player who you believed was not legitimate.
This is the story of the plan to destroy this cricketing legend and the one man who put everything at risk to stop it from happening. The story starts in 1995. Murlitharan was new on the scene and Darell was the umpire. Now at the time, ICC rules stated that you can't straighten your arm after bending it while bowling. And who is to judge that? Completely up to the umpire's decision. And so it started. Umpire Darell quickly started calling no balls on Murali, taking this as an issue.
And all of a sudden, from nowhere, he's now being called for bowling no balls.
Well, I hope he's not calling him for throwing. He seems to be looking straight down and he calls him very late, so I'm sure he's calling him for throwing. I hope it's not, but I've got a terrible gut feeling.
This is his livelihood, and all of a sudden, he's being no balled out of the game. Muralitharan is seeing his career float right out of the window.
I was surprised and I didn't think it will happen ever. He came and said, first ball, no ball. I thought I just overstepped it.
Captain Ranatunga, getting frustrated by this obstruction, decided to start bowling Murali from the other end. To this, umpire Hare boldly declared that he will still call it a no ball, even if he isn't officiating. Something that was completely unheard of till this point.
Umpire Hare is the umpire is doing it. He's decided that his action is not legitimate.
After the match though, the Sri Lankans tried to call for deliberations with umpire Hare to deal with this matter properly. ICC allowed it. Australian Cricket Board though, they stopped it. And the same continued in the second match. This time by another Australian umpire called Emerson, who then decided to take things one step ahead. This bowling issue was mostly related to Murali's off spin. But Emerson started calling no balls even on his leg breaks. It is physically impossible to move an arm like that while bowling a leg break, but that didn't matter.
It looks to me as if umpire Emerson has called him for throwing. Well, that was a leg break. So he's called him for bowling a leg spinner twice in this over. And it's very difficult to throw a leg spinner. Some say impossible.
Murali finally had to be taken off from the team. And Sri Lanka went on to lose the series 3-0. Mind you, a few years later, this behavior by these two umpires was labelled as the worst umpiring he has ever seen by Sir Don Bradman, an Australian legend. Anyways, fast forward 3 years and Murali had underwent extensive testing at the ICC and was declared to have completely legal action. The International Cricket Council had absolutely no issues with Murali, but what does the regulating body of cricket know? Australians know better, and they decided to take things in their own hands. The Australian Tri-Nation Series between Australia, England and Sri Lanka was in full swing with the trophy up for grabs. The Australian Cricket Board had continued to malign Murali as a chucker and the captain Ranatunga as a savage. Each day, the media used to be filled with articles about how unethical the duo were, or how the spirit of cricket was at stake. And finally, before the 8th match, to be played against England and to be officiated by umpire Emerson. Yup, that Emerson. The same Emerson who later went on to say that he thinks Asians have just too much money and power in cricket. That Emerson. was called by the Australian Cricket Board and told explicitly that he should maintain the standards that he had set before in the next match.
With Merriman telling me, he expected me to do it, encouraging me to do it. He didn't direct me to do it. Encouraged me to do it is how I put it. I had no doubt that the Australian Cricket Board expected and probably wanted him to be called.
In other words, in spite of ICC clearing him of everything, go ahead and destroy him. And so it went. Emerson, emboldened by the ACB's support, stood at the square leg and decided to call a no ball.
No ball called from square leg.
For years now, Murali and the Sri Lankan team had suffered at the hand of these accusations. And this time, in spite of ICC ruling such arbitrary umpiring, the Sri Lankan captain had had enough.
It's all happened again. He's done it again. Now, what he wants to, I think he might take him off here, because I think the law or the playing condition says that if he bowls two, if he calls him twice, he then has to take him out of the attack. So it's happened, and Arjuna is right in there.
He straight away walked up to the umpires and argued, finger pointing, accusing the umpires of unfair treatment. He kept on citing the ICC's ruling.
Officials who made the decision, all bar two of them are experienced international players, and here we have a man who is standing there and telling us that the ICC throwing committee don't know what they're talking about, but he does.
But umpire Emerson, backed by the ACB, stood his ground. Captain Ranatunga then looked at the umpires, said goodbye to the English players, and along with his team, walked off the ground. This had gone completely beyond everybody's expectations, even ACB's. Nobody thought that Ranatunga would be so quick to pull the trigger.
I'd say this game has been conceded.
I don't blame Arjuna. Arjuna Ranatunga is exactly right. I think umpire Emerson is saying that he knows more than everyone else playing the game. Umpires all around the world are happy with what that young man has done. This man here doesn't say anything in the first over. I think it's bizarre. One man's moment of glory.
The match referee rushed onto the pitch to stop the players, and phone calls were made between Sri Lankan board chairman, Australian Cricket Board, and in some fierce diplomacy, an unofficial compromise was reached. Murali was to only ball leg breaks, and umpire Emerson was to stand down. The match was to be resumed. But the Sri Lankan captain had had enough. He came and told Murali, "Ball however you want. Let me see who can stop you." And Murali did, with Emerson having to shut up and watch. After getting called savage and belligerent by the entire Australian media, he decided to show them what true savagery is. In a further move to make the umpire pay, he actually introduced Murali, where Emerson was officiating, daring him to take action. But knowing he couldn't call a no ball, he made an issue with Murali's starting mark, saying that it was too close to the wickets. To this though, Ranatunga walked up to Emerson and calmly said, "You are in charge of umpiring, I am in charge of captaining. My bowler will bowl from wherever he wants." And so he bowled. By the time the match ended though, a full-scale war had broken out between the two boards. Ranatunga was given a suspended sentence of 6 matches, along with 75% of his match fees. And the Australian board was calling for Murali's head too. But in spite of all that, when asked, in hindsight, whether he should have rested Murali for that match, he simply answered, "He has been cleared by the world. Why should I worry about 1 or 2 umpires?" And so, one captain stood up in the line of fire to protect his youngster. The same youngster who later went on to become the linchpin of the Sri Lankan team. The same youngster who today holds the record for the most wickets in cricket. The same youngster who on that day, after being accused and abused, had went on to score the winning runs of that match, with umpire Emerson watching at square leg. This is how Ranatunga saved a young Murli's career.